Hello and welcome. In the last 50 years, numerous books and articles have been published on image theory. But what is noticeably lacking is any emerging consensus or wider impact on fields outside philosophy. No theorist since Ernst Gombrich has had anything like his influence across philosophy, psychology, and the visual arts. Books like Understanding Pictures, Picture, Image and Experience, The Objective Eye, and What is a Picture have been almost entirely ignored in art education and have had little or no impact on fields such as cultural studies, ethology, language evolution, and psychology. Scientific research is widely regarded as being indispensable in the development of a theory of the image, and many theorists appeal to vision science and neuroscience in order to understand and explain images. But if it turns out that the issues of concern are conceptual in nature, then scientific research is unlikely to generate much in the way of insight. Perhaps an entirely different approach is needed, one that brings us back to the rough ground of the ways that we use nonverbal representations, and most especially of the things that we say about them. Conceptual analysis has the potential to reveal several important distinctions, commonly overlooked, neglected, or oversimplified in the literature. Even such unassuming prepositions as of and about have a significant role to play in clarifying and revealing the extraordinary sophistication of our ordinary understanding of pictorial representation, and indeed all forms of nonverbal representation. Often we can use of and about interchangeably, as when we say, "I've been thinking of you," or "I've been thinking about you." But when applied to images, these prepositions are no longer equivalent. An image about you need not be of you. When we say that an image is about something, it is rightly assumed that we are referring to its meaning, whereas an image of something need not be about anything. For example, the images of rocks and aquatic plants used as backdrops in many fish tanks. Nelson Goodman argued that all representations are symbolic. Thus, the Jolly Roger flag design symbolizes a skull and crossbones according to one set of symbolic conventions, and piracy according to another. However, the Jolly Roger design is not an image of piracy. It is an image of a skull and crossbones. So simple grammar belies Goodman's claim. What the design is about, its meaning, relies on its association with piracy, not because it is a picture of piracy. What the image is standardly taken to be about is indeed a symbolic relation, but this is secondary to its pictured subject, what it is of. Like Goodman, Willem Flusser claimed that photographs are symbols. He rightly acknowledged that they provide space for interpretation, but he overlooked a crucial distinction between interpretations of what images are of and interpretations of what they are about. So whilst it is true that photographs provide space for interpretation of what they are about, it is much less true that they provide space for interpretation of what they are of. Things can resemble one another either by way of genuine similarity or by way of one or more effects. A 3D effect is not a 3D property, and a shading effect is not a shadow. Umberto Eco once remarked, "Now, a simple phenomenological inspection of any representation, either a drawing or a photo, shows us that an image possesses none of the properties of the object represented." How is it possible then that we can very occasionally mistake some images for the things they represent? Eco offers no explanation. More recently, it has been argued that many pictures do in fact share the property of peripheral shape viewed from a fixed point with the objects they depict. Nonetheless, Eco isn't entirely wrong. What he fails to do, though, is to distinguish between resemblances that rely on shared properties and resemblances that rely on illusionistic effects, or pictorial effects we sometimes call them. This leads him to deny resemblances altogether in favour of a proprietary theory of pictorial symbolization that has little success within the field of image theory. Even if an image theory is correct in every detail, the job of dissemination and persuasion remains entirely before us. However, if it turns out that only clarity is needed to dissolve conceptual puzzles, then there is no need to strive for the acceptance and assimilation of a new theory into ordinary discourse. Thank you very much.